Today we are making shrimp scampi pasta. So of course what you're going to need is some shrimp. Mine is peeled, deveined, and the tail off. We're going to season our shrimp with some sea salt, some seafood magic, and some black pepper. Moving on to the sauce and the noodles. You're going to need any type of noodles that you choose, whether it's linguine, whether it is spaghetti, thin spaghetti. You can even do macaroni noodles if you want to, but I'm using linguine. You're going to need a lemon, fresh parsley, Roma tomatoes halved, a regular stick of butter, the garlic butter should you choose. You can get that from Sam's, Parmesan cheese, minced garlic, heavy whipping cream, white cooking wine, crushed red pepper, and some type of garlic Parmesan seasoning. And that is all. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get your water boiling for your noodles. You're going to place as much noodles as you choose depending on how many dishes you're making. You can either choose to break up your noodles or you can let them sit out of the pot and they'll go ahead and just sink in as they get softer. But I'm only making one bowl right now, so that's the amount that I'm making. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to seasoning our shrimp. Okay, so our shrimp is peeled, deveined, tail off. I'm going to use a little bit of black pepper. Use whatever seasonings you want to for this dish as far as for your shrimp, but I like to use certain seasonings because they give a different profile flavor. I'm sorry, flavor profile. And now I'm going to go ahead and use some of my seafood magic. And then lastly, we're going to use our sea salt. And that is fine. So let me go ahead and mix that up. Just making sure everything is coated. Your shrimp doesn't have to be over seasoned because you're going to get the flavor from the sauce that we make for our shrimp scampi. So that's about it. That's all you need. There we go. Now we're going to go ahead and saute our shrimp. So let's head over to the stove. So we're at the stove. I have my pan lightly seasoned with some olive oil. I'm going to take my shrimp one by one and just place it in the stove on the skillet. And we're just going to brown each side for about 2 minutes or until it becomes opaque. You know, shrimp cooks really fast, so just don't overcook your shrimp. You want to make sure it's done, but you don't want it to be overcooked. So we're going to let that just sit there. We're going to flip it halfway through, and then we'll move on to making our sauce. We're almost done, guys. 50% there.
Chip star. Hey, hold up, slow up. Hey, let me love you a long time. Hold up, slow up.
Okay, now that our shrimp is done, we're going to go ahead and just take it off and transfer it over into another skillet. A plate. Just to allow it to cool because you don't want it to continue to cook. Because we're going to start on the ingredients for our sauce. Okay, so now what we're going to do is take our Roma tomatoes and we're going to go ahead and just dump those in the skillet. Like that. Got a little bit of olive oil in there, so be careful. But I'm just basically softening them up just a little bit. It's going to be so good. It doesn't take long. Just flash fry them for about 45 seconds. That's enough. We're just going to take them off of the skillet. So now what I'm going to do is take a half a stick of butter. If you're not going to use the garlic butter that I showed you, then you want to use a whole stick of butter. But I am using the garlic butter. So I'm taking the half a stick of regular butter. We're gonna let that melt down, and then I'm gonna put some of the garlic butter in there as well. Now I'm taking my garlic butter, and I'm just gonna scoop a little in there. That's about a half a stick of butter. I'm just gonna get it going, melting. I got my heat on medium low. And since that's starting to melt, what we're gonna do now is take our minced garlic, and we're gonna put as much garlic as you want. You can never put too much. So I'm just gonna dab in that much, making sure I'm stirring it around to see if it's enough garlic, and it's enough for me. So now that our butter has foamed up, we're going to take some of our white cooking wine. You can find this in your grocery store. And we're going to pour some of it into the skillet. It's about 1/4 of a cup. And we're gonna let that sizzle out. It looks so good, and guys, if you can smell it, it smells even better than it looks. All right, this dish is so easy to make. I love this dish. And it doesn't take many ingredients to make it. That's why I like it so much, because you're pretty much done in like 15 minutes. So easy. All right, so now what we're gonna do is take some of our heavy whipping cream. Most people do not put this in their shrimp scampi, but I do, because it makes the sauce a little bit thicker. Rather than just being buttery. But you don't put a lot in there. You kind of try to look for a certain consistency. So I can already tell that I need some more. So you want it to be thick, but not too thick. And you don't want it to look like Alfredo sauce. Alright, so that's about it. See how it's still kind of watery just a little bit, but it doesn't look thick like Alfredo sauce. That's how you want it. So at this point, we're going to season this mixture. And in order to season it, what we're going to do is use some of our garlic parmesan made by Weber. We're going to pour some of that in there. And then I like to put some more pepper. A little bit of pepper, not a lot. Like that much. Then I like to put crushed red pepper. A little for the kick. And we also are going to squeeze some lemon juice. So I'm squeezing my lemon, and I like for it to taste real lemony, so I'm going to do one entire lemon. So we're going to put another half in there. Squeeze that juice. There we go. And then we're going to mix that around. And your sauce is almost done. And last but not least, we're going to add a little bit of regular Parmesan cheese into the sauce. I know it seems like we're making a cheese sauce, but we're not. Just stay with me. See, I didn't even put a lot in. Yes, honey. So at this time, feel free to taste your sauce if you want. We've already cooked our noodles, so we're going to go ahead and just toss some of our noodles into the skillet. I like to do mine by hand, just so I can see what's going on. My hands are clean, and plus this is for me. You don't want to put too many noodles in there because you want your noodles to actually soak up the sauce as well. So you kind of want to eyeball it. So I'm going to put some more. And that's about it. So just toss your noodles around. Because you want to have some sauce to put on top when you plate your noodles. Those tomatoes that we cooked earlier, we're going to throw that in. That shrimp that we cooked earlier, we're going to also throw that in just to reheat them a little bit. And then also the parsley, the fresh parsley, you want to save some for the top for garnishment, but you want to put some in your dish for color as well. You want to just mix that up, let it wilt down just a little bit. And at this point you can turn off your stove because the pan is still hot. And like I said, we're just reheating the tomatoes and the shrimp. So far so good. And right now we are done. So now we have to plate it, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. And we are done. So I've just plated it in a white bowl. I've added a little bit of my Parmesan, my garlic Parmesan seasoning on top, sprinkled a little bit of parsley, and that is it. Guys, your guests will enjoy this. Your man, your woman, whatever you have will enjoy this. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and bon appetit.
Let me love you long time. Underlay, underlay, mama, let's ride, let's ride. Underlay, underlay, mama, let's ride, let's ride. Went to school together in the 8th grade. Sat next to her in the science lab. I could've sworn we had